New project. Doing that. Episode 99 raw. Raw.
Raw.
Mr.
Scott Rasmussen,
Yeah, my man.
3:21 p.m. Wow.
He is one of the most loyal listeners that I will be referring to later.
Scott.
Yeah. All right, sound check. Hello.
Hello.
All right, very good.
Why I leaned in.
All right. And we are live, yes? Yes. All right. But I'm going to keep that off because I don't want to look there. I want to look there. All right. So, for any of you in the chat, we are maintaining continuity. This is episode 99 because we've only recorded up to episode 99 so far. Next week is episode 100.
Yeah. Yes. So don't fuck with us.
Yeah.
Seriously, don't fuck with us.
Next week Chit.
is episode 100.
God damn it. All right. Mr. Missy, just look at me. Mr. Missy, yes, sir.
You've been listening to that song.
It's very catchy. Make a request. And
Yeah. And also you may notice that I am it's going to take me probably a few pushes to get pop the clutch for me to get started because I am fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
Absolutely exhausted. It's so weird just being this like so much space.
I know, right? Why didn't we do this before?
I don't know. C3PO is all lit up. Yes, he is because we're recording. We're 3PO. We're broadcasting. So
that too.
Recording, broadcasting, all of the above.
All right. So we got that. I'm gonna close that for now. So I got the notes up. I can get that up again.
You should be able to do this just like I can do on mine.
How do you do that?
You know what? Don't. We're not going to fuck with it now.
All right. My toast.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, this is another just kind of do it live sort of thing.
Of course, we're doing it live.
So I got a little bit of news in there. We got. All right, we got our regular folks in the chat. Fuck, we doing this?
Let's do it.
All right.
The earlier we start,
the earlier Dave gets to bed.
Yeah.
All right. 30 seconds of silence starting now. To our most loyal listeners, the refugees, the Toms, the Scotts, the Isaacs, the Tonys, the Matts, all of the people that have stuck with us from the very beginning, who are constantly in our chats, constantly on our Facebook group, to all of you guys, you know who you are. This is to you.
Cheers.
So I found this Corona just sitting around the house today, so I figured, fuck it, I'll drink it for the show. It's like a single Corona that was just
it's very odd.
I don't know where that came from. So
odd.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to All Things Star Wars, the greatest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. I'm Mr. Jason Roscom, with me here each and every single week, the Darth Vader to my Palpatine, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
Tired.
You look tired.
It was a long weekend.
Yeah.
It was a very long weekend.
Yep,
But here we are. We're back on our Monday night schedule.
I know. Everybody must be pleased, though. We're missing a few people in the chat, so I don't know what
it might be a little too early. I mean, usually we start at like 6.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of prematurity here this week.
Well, that's
what happens when you get old, though.
Yep.
So anyway, what are we talking about this week?
It's a this week is a very mishmash, kind of couldn't think of anything. So we're going to go ahead and do like
Whoa, we thought of things. Don't.
you thought of things and then I agreed with them. So for me, it's a mishmash of stuff.
Okay.
Like going back and looking at the previous, 98 episodes before this one.
Yeah, because
leading into the 100.
Yeah, because normally in the episode 100, that's probably where we'd reminisce about the first 100 episodes of the podcast. But I have a feeling that next week is going to be jam-packed full of stuff with the refugees being here and everything. And I have a feeling we're not going to have time to talk about that kind of stuff.
We absolutely are not going to have time.
Yeah. So this week is going to be our reminiscing episode. We're going to look back on our first 100 episodes, and this is acting as a prequel to episode 100, if you will.
Yes.
And
prequel is my idea. I did.
That was your idea. Yes. So good on you.
We shouldn't drink at the same time. Why is the battery backup all of a sudden like making the fan noises? Like I don't remember ever making noise before ever.
It does that sometimes, but it hasn't been doing it this often until recently. So I don't know what the hell's going on.
Very weird.
Studio stuff. Lots of studio stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit upset this week. Because
usually you're really upset, but so you're only a little upset this week.
Yes, only a little bit.
Okay.
Because I was expecting more of a reaction to last week's episode. If you remember last week's episode 98 was our top 5 hottest chicks.
Right.
And I was expecting, it was going to be glorious. I was expecting, you fucking sexist motherfuckers. This is demeaning, but nothing. I posted the shit on Instagram. Okay, we got one reaction like that.
Right.
But that out of all of our, 9,000 followers on Instagram, we got like fucking hundreds of likes on when I posted the episode and put it up on Instagram. Hundreds of likes. People, men and women chiming in. Oh, I think this girl and this girl are the hottest. No, I think this girl and this girl are the hottest. Ooh, this girl should play Ahsoka in a live action movie. And I'm like, wait, where's all the negativity? Where's all the fucking, you guys are fucking assholes? And I'm like, no, this is supposed to go differently. So, because negativity and things like that will shine a spotlight on us and it'll like bring more listeners to the show, believe it or not. So
that's why you wanted to do it.
Well, yeah,
it was all about marketing and it had nothing to do with misogyny or anything else.
Oh, I do like fucking with people when it comes to like hot button political topics. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I was expecting some kind of blowback and all we got was one fucking cuck on Instagram. His exact response was something to the effect of, this is fucking pathetic, I'm unfollowing. And I responded with the Willy Wonka, oh no, please don't go, stop.
Yeah.
And he deleted his comment after that. So I'm like, shit. So
you couldn't even keep that one.
No, I posted the link to the fucking show and like all these Star Wars groups full of all these fucking sensitive douche nozzles and nothing. Nobody got upset. I'm like, come on, man, we got to go more fucking racy, I guess, with our topics. We gotta really push the envelope.
I don't know. I guess it's some form or fashion is empowering women, because we're highlighting them as a focus in our Star Wars conversation. So maybe they saw it that way.
Fuck. All right. Well, we gotta
work this through better the next time.
I know. God damn it. Like I had it all worked out perfectly in my head.
We need the Chappelle Show version of, some shit like that. That'll really, really push us over the edge.
That reminds me of the what was it, the Nat King Cole, and to you, my dear, have a Merry Christmas, you trifling bitch. And he's like, rub it in your breasts and your vagina.
I fucking forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was great.
Oh, shit.
So anyway, we got a little nugget of news this week. Little bit.
What was that?
Okay, so I don't know if we've actually talked about it on the podcast or not, or if we've thought about talking about it, but never actually did. Either way, so we know Galaxy's Edge, the fucking Disney edition that we have talked about a lot, is coming sooner than later. And they're releasing a novel, like a full-length novel. It's not a young adult. It's just like a full-fledged novel that's a tie-in to this. And it's, again, on Batuu, which we know Batuu from fucking Thrawn 2 Electric Boogaloo. So it's a planet that we're familiar with, and that's where Galaxy's Edge takes place. Well, this is sort of a prequel novel leading into the actual release of the theme parks. And they just like 3 days ago, they released this synopsis on StarWars.com, the only source for official Star Wars news, mind you.
I do believe Bronco Fett actually posted something on our in the cantina, and or on our Facebook page.
Yeah, that was today, I think, in the Sidebar
Was it
Cantina.
today?
I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, Marco.
Yes, we're gonna go with whatever.
Yeah.
I just know it was there.
Yeah.
So look here. Are they eyes or boobies?
I'm gonna say eyes.
All right, fair enough.
So, do you want me to read this whole fucking release and then we can talk about it, or do you even give a shit? Because they basically, like I said, they released the synopsis.
I
for this
haven't
thing.
read it, so
All right, I'm going to read it to you. So, sit back, have a drink, and enjoy the musings of Mr. Roscom as I read this article from StarWars.com to you. As
StarWars.com.
as Dave's fucking with shit over there. All right.
You need tape. There was a view I wanted to have.
You were having all kinds of issues over there.
God, I'm a fucking mess, dude.
There's a galaxy of major books and comics coming to shelves that center around Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and the mysterious world of Batuu. It's not mysterious. We know about it. Anyway, today the Disney Parks blog has pulled back the curtain on one such release, revealing the cover and story details for Delilah S. Dawson. She's written a lot of Star Wars books before, too.
In relation to Rosario?
No, I wish. Speaking of which, she's one of the people that the folks on Instagram think should play Ahsoka in a live-action movie.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, squirrel.
That would be good.
This is novel, Galaxy's Edge Black Spire, coming August 27th. So this is kind of fucked up because the park opens next or at the end of May in fucking Disneyland, but it's not opening in Disney World until August 29th. So this comes out right about the time the Disney World version of the park opens up. So we can see which one they think is more important, which honestly, we've talked about it with the hotel and everything else. It probably is.
Right.
The book promises to explore the secret history of Galaxy's Edge, and we can't wait. Check out artist, feature, and then the description below. Walk the ancient streets, meet the colorful characters, and uncover the secret history of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the upcoming expansion to the Disney Parks experience. After devastating losses at the hands of the First Order, General Leia Organa has dispatched her agents across the galaxy in search of allies, sanctuary, and firepower, and her top spy, V. Muradi, may have just found all three on a secluded world at the galaxy's edge. A planet of lush forests, precarious mountains, and towering petrified trees, Batuu is on the furthest possible frontier of the galactic map, this last settled world before the mysterious expanse of wild space. Something to talk about. The rogues, smugglers, and adventurers who eke out a living on the largest settlement on the planet, Black Spire Outpost, are here to avoid prying eyes and unnecessary complications. V, a resistant spy on the run from the First Order, is hardly a welcome guest. And when the shuttle full of stormtroopers lands in her wake, determined to root her out, she has no idea where to find help. To survive, V will have to seek out the good-hearted heroes hiding in a world that redefines scum and villainy. With the help of a traitorous trooper and her acerbic droid. Acerbic? What the fuck does that mean? Acerbic? Acerbic droid. She begins to gather
like Acer, like the cheap computer Acer.
Isaac, get on it. You're our Google champion. So anyway, she begins to gather a colorful band of outcasts and misfits and embarks on a mission to spark the fire of resistance on Batuu before the First Order snuffs it out entirely. It arrives August 27th, blah, 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 blah. So I wonder when this takes place. This almost sounds like it takes place after The Last Jedi, doesn't it? Like Leia is sending out spies or people to find allied worlds in the Outer Rim after the destruction of the First Order, or after the devastating losses at the hands of the First Order.
You don't think she would have done this before Last Jedi? Like before they got into a situation where they were abandoning one planet, that maybe she would have been like, hey, let's send some fucking feelers out.
If anything, it happens on the heels of Force Awakens. Because remember, Force Awakens and The Last Jedi are like back to back.
It's back to back.
And this talks about the devastating losses at the hands of the First Order, which means, the fucking...
Well, shit, that's right. It basically, in the crawl of Last Jedi, it's basically like, hey, they're getting their fucking dick kicked in. That's why they're fucking evacuating off of this planet and doing all that shit. So
if anything, this is probably running concurrent with both Force Awakens and Last Jedi. So it's good. I mean, this could be, even though it's not officially the countdown to episode 9 or whatever, it's kind of the beginning of that. It's kind of the stories that are going to lead into episode 9, I would think. So this kind of has me, interested. Uh,
Look, it's interesting as shit, and I mean, I know we're going to read the book.
Yeah.
We're going to have to, just to get an idea of like what there's going to be compelling canonical elements to it, I'm sure.
I would imagine, yeah.
And also the fact that this is going to be a major thing in the theme park. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to another book. I mean, I think what's going to come first, the Last of the Thrawn trilogy, or that you said August 27th, right?
Yeah, and Thrawn comes out in July, so Thrawn will be out next.
So Thrawn, all right.
Yeah.
So I'll have Thrawn, then we can roll into this book. So that'll take you till
say it. Go ahead.
2020, like to get to it. So,
look, I went through the last Thrawn book pretty fucking fast.
Okay, how long is it taking you guys through the third Bane book?
There's reasons, and I'm talking about it later. Don't spoil my week.
Oh,
that's coming up.
I'm just saying.
But
we've been talking about doing the third Bane book for just a quick minute now, and
I've been in the process of reading it.
Have you, Jason?
So we've got Star Wars Celebration coming up in a couple of weeks.
We know a couple guys that are gonna be there.
Yeah, and
who may also be coming to New Jersey as well.
Yeah, and when they get here to New Jersey next week, we're gonna have to ask them. Hey, record everything you can. Go to as many good panels as you can, and
the important thing to tell them is going to be like when you do a recording, make sure that it's like actually facing what's going on, and don't like make sure you look at your phone and it's not in selfie mode. Like you press it up to your chest, and now great, we've got a bunch of audio of your chest of the chest, and not seeing anything.
Yeah.
So just a reminder for the guys out there.
Yeah, because I do want you to like hold the phone to your chest and record the crowd reactions for the episode 9 trailer
as much as you can without getting kicked out.
Yes, which a million people are going to be doing that anyway, so that's not a problem.
It's a celebration.
It is. All right. So yeah, we already talked about them arriving next week for episode 100. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a big party. I have a feeling that we're all going to have a really good time. And I mean, it's probably going to wear us out. Really.
Oh God, yeah.
I could imagine being worn the fuck out by Sunday night.
It's going to be
next weekend.
I can imagine very similar to how I feel right now.
Yeah.
Is how I'm going to feel then, like after having just a long weekend and needing a few more days to recover.
Yep. So that's really it for news. We kind of stopped doing the whole weekly bit with the character of the week. I think that kind of fell flat. So I think we need to start thinking of a new weekly bit to throw in here. I mean, we don't not right this second, but I mean, don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Do we want to hop right into our week then?
Yes.
All right. You look like you were contemplating whether
I was contemplating. I had a thing that I was gonna. I'll save it. Okay. Go ahead.
Save it for your week. All right. So as we talked about the Darth Bane 3 book, I'm still pressing through. I'm about 20% to go in the book, so I'm almost there. The problem is I've been really fucking busy lately, and whenever I go to read it, it's like at the end of the day. So I'll read it. I'll lay in my bed and I'll start reading it, and like just as I'm finishing up a chapter, I'll be like, I'll be fucking tired. So reading puts me to sleep. I don't know why. It's not that it's boring. Bane 3 is not boring at all.
Right.
It's a really good book. Reading just puts me to sleep for some reason, especially when I'm already fucking tired all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
But I did read like 2 chapters last night, so I'm getting there, slowly but surely.
2020. Be prepared.
Yeah. So been playing more of the Old Republic whenever I get a few minutes, and I find myself wasting a lot of time doing crew skills and not enough time doing the actual story.
So what is this crew skills you speak of? I'm just not.
So there's trade skills, like things that you're
is it a trade skill or a crew skill?
Well, it's technically trade skills. That's what MMOs have called them, but the Old Republic decided to be different and call them crew skills instead of train skills. Train skills? Trade skills. Train skills would be a good crew skill to have. Building trains and no, nothing.
You're confusing the fuck out of me, dude. I'm like, because you just went crude to like, what in fucking Old Republic should I be doing? Because I can tell you right now, I haven't done dick all with any crew or fucking team or trains or any other skills. I got nothing. I got nothing.
And really, that's
half the time I'm running around without my fucking sidekick and get my ass beat.
Yeah, that's a big problem. That's the thing you should be focusing on, is just not dying and making sure your companion is with you at all times.
Yes.
So we'll get you to the crew skills.
Yeah, and so I'm at a point in the game where I haven't played in a little bit, but there's space missions in Uncharted Space.
Which they're kind of fun.
But are they necessary to advance the story?
No.
Okay, so I could like ignore the fucking comlink. Yeah, that's going off.
You could, but I mean, the space missions are quick. They're quick, and they're an easy way to make money and experience if you don't really care about progressing strictly through the main storyline.
I need to get through one storyline in this fucking game, and then like, I don't know, go back and like earn money and shit. I just want to get I just want to get this one character through to the fucking end.
Okay.
And then after that, then Bob's your uncle. But
yeah,
in the meantime, I'm just like,
yeah, because you still need to give Darth Barris his. So you're a master as a Sith warrior, Darth Barris.
Oh yeah, I guess I'd probably have to take him out at some point.
Dude in the weird mask.
Yeah, I know who Barris
is. He's a fucking cockknuckle.
Yeah, big fat fuck.
Yeah, fuck him. So, but yeah, I've been spending way too much time doing crew skills and making money, and not enough time like
reading
actually
the Bane book.
Well, I'm just talking within the confines of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
And not enough time actually like doing Sith Inquisitor stuff, because I'm still trying to get through the Sith Inquisitor storyline. And I need to just like stop, because really I'm making all these credits, and it's like, what do I need them for? I'm not really buying anything. I'm not saving up for anything. Like back in the day, I was saving up for like my first Rancor mount, because I've got the Rancor that I ride around on. Like that costs like 100 million fucking credits back in the day. So I saved up, like I did crew skills and like sold shit and saved up for a long time to buy that thing. And then I also bought a special, like the vented lightsaber that I have. I saved up a lot for that. But now I'm just like, I'm not saving up for anything. I'm not trying to acquire anything, but for some reason I still have this need to just like get all the money. I just want it all.
Yeah, just give all that money to my character, then I won't have to do all those things. And then maybe I can actually change the color of my lightsabers.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's a train skill.
Trade skill.
Oh, trade.
Trade. Technically, it's a crew skill according to the game, but you know what I mean,
motherfucker.
Sorry. So anyway, Kristen went to the thrift store again this week, so I got a couple of thrift store spoils.
What?
Though I think you've already seen one of these, but we're gonna go through them anyway. The first one is this book. It's Star Wars Rebel Force Target.
Interesting.
It looks like it's from 2008. It looks like it's Scholastic, so it's definitely a kid's book.
Yes.
And you look big letters.
Somebody got their Scholastic Book Club money and got themselves a Star Wars book.
Yeah,
very nice.
But it's from 2008, so it's not that old. The Death Star has been destroyed, but back at the Rebel base, the celebration is over.
It's 11 years ago.
Fuck me.
You say that, and I catch myself doing the same thing. Like, oh yeah, early 2000s. That's not that old.
Yeah,
it is, bud.
Yeah, and this would be considered Legends material anyway, and it takes place after A New Hope, but before Empire Strikes Back, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Stock 3PO and R2 footage. Luke looking off longingly. Leia looking like she's being held like a bowling ball. Very good.
What, Han's finger in her? Or?
Yeah, look. Where's Han's other hand in this picture?
I think on her ass.
Well, or holding it like a bowling ball.
Okay, fair enough.
I think we should put this with the sacred Jedi text.
The sacred text.
All right. Right there on the top.
All right, nice. So one other thing, and I'm pretty sure you saw this already, but she found another version of Star Wars Risk. This is
they can't see it.
As you know, I got the Black Series Risk a while back, which we never fucking played, and maybe we'll play it when the refugees get here.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If there's time.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll have enough time. But there's more pieces on the back. If nothing else, it'll be more pieces that we can add to the Black Series version. Did you notice that the board is shaped like a TIE Advanced? Right.
I mean, it could be a TIE Advanced or it could be a TIE Interceptor. Yeah. It's more likely a TIE Advanced.
Right, because you don't know if it's got the
points.
Yeah.
It's quite pointy.
So, yeah, those couple of things she picked up for me. So, it's always good. One of these days, we got to play this fucking Risk. Just just to
Yeah,
say we
well,
did.
we have to have enough time to do it.
Yeah, which that's always the limiting factor.
Hmm.
When you get to be our age, it's
Time is
fucking.
more valuable than money.
Oh yeah, no, I trust me. I would rather pay money to have a lot of things done that just take up way too much time out of my day, like things that I could do, but I don't want to because I don't have fucking time.
Yeah.
So that's really my week. You got anything for me?
I did have something, and I was trying to remember it earlier, and I can't remember it now.
Wow. And it
Uh,
doesn't have to be Star Wars related. We do talk about our personal lives in this.
something funny.
He's dying, folks.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. So we are talking about it. So I think it went last week, week before. I don't know when I got my new rig, right? My new car.
Yeah, yeah.
New to me car.
Mhm.
And my wife had said, like, yeah, all right, what number is this for cars?
Oh, for how many
Because
cars you've had?
yeah, I've had a lot of fucking cars.
Yeah.
And it was making me think about it on the drive today. I'm like, how many fucking cars have I really had?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about going through the list on the air, but that would legitimately take
Like the first 65 orders.
yeah. Oh man, the song. I can't do the song. So yeah, my throat's been all fucked up, along with all the other million and a half things.
Sure, just add it to the list.
Yeah, just fuck it. Uh,
Number of cars.
yeah, no, I it's not even worth trying to do it now. I'm so fucking tired, guys. So I can't. I just, ugh. Um, I will say that in the chat we got Big Swede, who's involved now in our at least in the chat. I don't know if he's
he
got himself into the Cyber Cantina. He's a coworker of mine,
nice.
and he has a super build with his computer.
Oh yeah.
And maybe we'll talk about it again next week see if he got all his parts in.
Yeah.
And all his LED stuff, but he's got all the RGB stuff, and it's a Sith based computer.
Nice.
Fucking really cool.
Awesome. Does he play the Old Republic?
I don't think so.
So he's a big Star Wars fan. He's building a sweet computer, and he's not playing the Old Republic.
He's a YouTuber for he has his own YouTube channel.
Well, shit, pimp his channel, man. Give him a shout out.
Give me your channel.
Wow.
Just do it if you're listening. It's still
a better friend would have had this shit ready,
dude. So. He knows as well as you do that I'm fucking. I especially today I've been a fucking zombie. So yeah, throw your shit into the chat and then we'll pimp it. But
is this the guy who likes guns? Who has the
he's got the gun
channel?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay,
he's got the gun show.
Nice. The gun show or
yeah,
nice.
Both. I was thinking we should arm wrestle on the thing.
See, I don't want to get embarrassed. I've been spending all this time working out, and then just to get embarrassed would just.
Tactical Swede is the gun related channel. He's got 2.
All right, Tactical Swede. Right. Check him out on YouTube if you like guns.
Also, probably Big Swede's Excellent Adventures is the other one. If I'm guessing.
What's the other one about?
Stuff like snowboarding and stuff. He does like snowboarding videos and shit like that. So anyway, the computer that he's building is for doing video editing and shit. It's
not playing the Old Republic.
Not apparently. A gaming computer, which you don't need that serious of a fucking computer for anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I fucking pimped my piece of shit Dell laptop and it handles it just fine.
Yeah.
You don't need some super fucking thing.
All right. Fair enough.
See this one. Other stuff not gun related.
Okay.
Like he's into snowboarding and all kinds of much like us. He collects collections.
Nice.
So he's got a nice Star Wars collection and so yes, and things. I don't know. I got nothing for my week, dude. This I'm spitballing as much as I possibly fucking can here.
Yeah.
And I'm just about spent.
He's dying. He's drowning, folks.
We did, however, on the recommendation of loyal listener Big Lovin',
mm-hmm.
he had mentioned something about pop figures.
Yes.
Funko Pop.
Yes.
And stopping in at Best Buys to check out the clearance rack. So I did pick one up at a Best Buy.
Nice.
And what we have is Princess Leia on the fucking speeder bike, which is pretty fucking
That
sweet.
looks like the fucking speeder toy from the 80s. Like,
It does,
it? It
doesn't it?
looks really close to it.
Yeah, it's not like
same size and everything.
yeah, you want to push the button and have the fucking thing fall apart.
Yeah.
I'm looking for him. Well, the button would be right here.
Yeah.
Right there. And I'm pushing and nothing's happening. She's getting really excited, but nothing's happening.
His finger in her ass crack.
Hey. Listen, the misogynist episode was last week.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, anyway, a really cool figure. And it was like fucking $11.99, I think it was at Best Buy.
Damn.
For something that would usually be like $22 because it's got the thing. Listen to it rattle. So yeah, there we go. Something Star Wars related.
All right, Funko Pop figures.
Yep.
Check the
Collect
clearance racks. No, don't collect them all. There's way too fucking many. And
look at them all.
Yes, and collect the ones that you really, really like. So, and oh, by the way, Big Swede, I'm expecting a return of the favor now on your channels to pimp us. That's how this whole thing goes.
What?
You all right over there?
No, God, no.
You having a stroke?
More than usual.
Okay, so do we want to hop right into our main topic then? Which, goddamn, this is gonna be a short episode.
And we're already into our main topic. Well, look, this main topic is broad. We got a lot of things to talk about.
No, that was last week. Broads.
Well, this is this week is instead of broads, it's vaginas. I don't fucking know. I'm glad that
right as I was taking a drink.
I'm glad that cup was still near your mouth when I said that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, we're kind of reflecting on our first 100 episodes, talking about some of the things that we like, some of our favorite moments from the earlier episodes. One thing I really want to focus on is topics that we want to cover over the next 100 episodes.
Right.
And I just so happen to have from the archives, from the sacred texts, before the sacred texts were the sacred texts, Dave and I created a list when we first came up with the concept of this podcast. We started a running document, like episode ideas that, I think we filled it in for about a week, and then it kind of went to the back burner.
Yeah.
We filled it in with a lot of episode ideas, and I kind of wanted to run through some of these, see which ones we covered, which ones we didn't, which ones would still be potentially viable episodes.
I'm actually trying to open it here on my iPad. If you give me a moment. What? Quick guide to leveling heirlooms. And Jason, were you storing something in Google Sheets that was not Star Wars related?
I'm just being silent, so the truncate silence takes all this out.
Yeah. Yes, you were. That has become obvious. So
you're just gonna keep talking.
What are you trying to take out? Oh, you mean like the whole thing? I wanted you to answer to the accusation of putting things out there that.
Look, I got in trouble the last time I put things out there without people's consent, so.
As you should.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have it. I have an episode.
You're in our fucking. It's like the first document.
It's not
in our
there.
Fucking Google Drive.
It's not there.
Give me the fucking thing. No, give me.
No, don't touch. It's not. Episode calendar. Is that what it's titled?
No, it's all things SWEP ideas.
Oh, it's not a fucking Google Doc, or it's a Google Doc, not a Google Sheet.
Who the fuck uses Google Sheets?
Well, we have like the episode listing that has like, remember we were trying to keep everything in that one spreadsheet so that we would fucking know we weren't going to repeat something.
Right.
That's also in there. I was expecting it to be in Google Sheets. Instead, there was some fucking World of Warcraft shit.
Why was that in our Google Drive?
Oh, I can't imagine.
No, I'm just saying, like, whatever. Fuck it. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, so
I can tell you who didn't put it there, Jason.
Anyway, can we get back to the topic at hand, please? So, yeah, this is our old list of episode ideas. So let's run down the list and see which ones we covered, which ones we didn't. Starting with number one, which I'm kind of surprised we didn't actually do a whole episode on this, and that's researching the Dark Cave on Dagobah.
Yeah, we were talking about it a little bit before we started the show. mentioned the cave
many
many
times.
times, but never really delved completely into it. Just like a one, like really just super nerd out researching of the meaning of the cave and everything else.
Yeah, because I mean, you could spend a lot of time analyzing that one scene, and this
Right.
is what, like 2 to 3 minutes of Empire Strikes Back.
Not even. I mean, honestly, the whole sequence is probably under 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Like from when Yoda fucking tells him to leave his weapons to the the decapitation is probably less than 2 minutes.
yeah. So I mean, there's a lot to analyze there, and a lot of like takeaways and ways you can dissect that scene and
Mm-hmm.
say what it really means. So yeah, that was one thing that we really thought would be a good episode idea,
Yeah.
which never really came to be, even though it was number one on our list for whatever reason.
Yeah, and yeah, it's still shit. It still potentially could be something that we get into.
Absolutely. And you also mentioned like the expanded universe or Legends material, as it were, explanation, because in Legends, they had some explanations as to why there was a lot of dark side force energy in that cave,
Right.
which we won't get into here. And then, yeah, Luke's failure you talked about. So a lot of things we could dissect about that, and that could be an entire episode.
I'm just catching up in the chat,
Anything?
asking if Hank's going to show up. It's great for the audio audience.
Yeah, it normally is. In fact, I think
Somebody throw a potato, please.
yeah, and
actually...
I think if yeah, if Hank can't doesn't have time to make an appearance next week, then he probably should make an appearance this week. I'm just saying.
We'll see.
Well, if I mean, if you think we have
I'll
enough time,
I'll send him a text.
all right,
We'll
see if he can be here
happens.
next week. So, all right, so that was the first topic. So the second one was, and this is another thing that we've kind of touched on in different episodes, but we've never made it the sole focus. I don't think, unless did we do our sex, drugs, and rock and roll of Star Wars?
Not really.
I don't think we did.
No.
And the topic idea here was drinking in the Star Wars universe. We mentioned Singer from the Aftermath books as he is the resident alcoholic in the Star Wars universe. Like they make no bones about it in those books.
Well, the most overt one for sure. I'm sure there's plenty of other alcoholics, but this one is the most overt. Yeah. I like the note here: gay and alcoholic.
But not that they're related, but
they're not. But it is interesting to like the openly gay character,
right?
Which I think we did talk about when we talked about the Aftermath book,
right?
We got into some detail about.
Well, yeah, specifically how the Empire looks at homosexuality, and not really as like a terrible, like immoral thing, but just like you're not creating more human beings for us to bring into the Empire, so we don't like this.
Yeah, and he was an Imperial officer, and yeah, there's a whole background to that too. So, Kanan was a drunk, yes, as Isaac points out.
Yep. Then we had one that was just Thrawn, which I think we've covered him pretty well. We haven't really talked about his character much in Legends, unless we're referring back to it when we reviewed the 2 Thrawn books. But I think we've spent enough time between Rebels and the 2 books talking about Thrawn a great deal.
I'm pretty sure when we wrote this, there wasn't nearly as much Thrawn material out there as there is now.
Like, yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, was the first Thrawn novel even out yet?
I don't know.
The first of the new Thrawn novels, because that came out in July of 2017. When did we start the show?
It was almost 2 years ago. 2 years ago in May.
Yeah.
So 17.
Okay.
May of 17.
So yeah, it might not even have been out yet. So.
Well, it does say most recent book, so that might have been when the book came out.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's converging timelines here, folks.
Yeah, but trust me, we have spent a lot of time on Thrawn throughout the course of this podcast.
Even more time on Thrawn.
Yeah, because he's really, legitimately, he is one of the best, well-rounded characters in the Star Wars universe, in all of Star Wars canon. Like, his whole story's been fleshed out really well. His motivations, his just like who he is as a character and what he's done in the Star Wars universe, he's really been fleshed out, and really he's so compelling of a character.
Yeah, I really can't wait till that 3rd book comes out.
Oh, I know.
Great.
Yep. Or when we maybe find out what the fuck happened to him when him and Ezra rode the fucking space octopus into the unknown regions. So
where they landed where Phasma is.
Yep. Now we've got one topic in here: the rule of 2. Where did the Sith and the Jedi come from? Well, I mean, as far as the rule of 2 goes, that's being handled in the Bane books. In fact, we've already kind of gotten to the bottom of that because that was covered in at the end of the first Bane book and throughout the second one.
Right.
His establishment of the rule of two, one master to have all the power, an apprentice to crave it, and whenever a single apprentice overtakes the master, they are in turn more powerful than that person. And each generation, the Sith get more and more powerful because of the rule of two. So we've really covered that in pretty good detail.
The chat still going with Thrawn.
What I like Legends Thrawn. I still believe he has a clone that survived.
Yeah, interesting.
Thrawn.
Interesting. We'll have to, as the book draws nigher.
Yeah,
we'll have to go more into that. But I agree. The rule of two. I think the rule of two. Yes. Where did the Sith and Jedi come from?
It's been covered in Legends material.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I would like to spend an episode talking about just where we think, like, if we were going to tell the story, how would we tell it?
Ooh, that would be good.
For where they came from.
Yeah.
You know, how did these religions start? How did the mystic power that is the Force, how was it discovered? You know,
I like that. Ooh, we should do that. Write this down.
I'm actually going to write it
down. So we've got another one here. Star Wars terms we should be using in real life. I love this. This must have been your idea. Number one, the refresher.
Yeah.
Which instead of the shitter or the bathroom or whatever, the refresher.
The refresher.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Because it is like when you go take a shower, you fucking as somebody who showers 3 times a day, as we've discovered in the Aquaman episode.
Yeah. And the HoloNet, which we've talked about the HoloNet a lot throughout the course of the podcast, but like I wonder if what you meant was referring to our internet as the HoloNet. Like I went on the HoloNet and I searched Han Solo's background.
Yeah, exactly. Just it's things that we are like as nerds, like things we can incorporate into more of our vernacular.
Yeah, which that would be fun. That's a good one. So the next topic is alternate universes. Explore the Infinities comic book series. Check.
Yep.
Yeah, we knocked that one out.
Yep, totally did that.
Also, explore the Star Wars comic based on the original screenplay. Check.
Yep.
Knock that one out. Research the healing powers of Bacta. So yeah, you've got patches, tanks, grenades, and all kinds of other Bacta type implements.
Yeah, Star Wars medicine, and even in Old Republic, when you're going up and Bronco Fett's favorite game in Republic Commando, going up and there's like these little health stations that you go up to, and it's like a portable Bacta station where you go up and you get your health refreshed there too. So there's definitely like how you heal in the Star Wars universe is much different.
Yeah, which I mean I love when we played Battlefront, the first Battlefront, like the Bacta bombs and everything.
I can hear the sound.
I know, and we'd gotten to a point where I think it was you weren't using Bacta bombs when we would play together. You wouldn't, but I would,
right?
And I'd always make sure you were topped off.
Yep.
And I was kind of like your healer, so to speak. Whenever we play the first Battlefront, God, we got to get back to Battlefront.
We do. Well, you got to. Did you still have your Xbox Live account? Did you?
No, I never did rebuy Live. I need to get on that.
So, Isaac Sight mentions that Kolto was the prequel to Bacta.
Okay, and I have heard Kolto mentioned many a times.
Really?
Also in Star Wars. Oh yeah. I think it's mentioned in the Old Republic actually.
I don't recall, but that's interesting.
Yes.
See, that's why it would be an interesting topic.
Yep. So I wish I'd read this before today because Arabesh or written basic. What will the writing in the books in The Last Jedi look like? Since no one writes anything in the Star Wars universe. They fucking on StarWars.com, as I was flipping through and I found the that novel, the Black Spire novel,
right.
There was an article like that same day about creating the fucking books in The Last Jedi, the sacred texts, and it showed inside some of the fucking pages, and I didn't even think to pay attention to see if it was like written in basic or Arabesh or whatever. So I'm like, fuck.
Well, you said it was on StarWars.com, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So
if you just scroll through the newsfeed. So I'll keep going while you're looking for that. The progression of the Stormtrooper from warrior clone to crossbred incompetence to First Order children, which I think we did. We did
cover
episode.
That.
Yeah,
we did.
So check. Discussion point from The Force Awakens. Snoke says to Ren, if the last Jedi is found, the new Jedi will rise. Paraphrasing, of course. Skywalker is the last Jedi. Rey is the new Jedi. That seems reasonable, but
we have put the Force Awakens through the ringer.
Yeah,
I mean,
and really the Last Jedi. And
yeah,
I have a feeling we're going to talk about the Last Jedi a lot more next week as well when the refugees get here. So.
Probably. I think that's what we were talking about with the with some of the topics we might do.
Yeah,
there was an error processing my request to look at the sacred text.
The sacred text. So
an error occurred while processing request. Fuck you.
Damn it. The Force, religion to midi-chlorians, covered that one. Check.
Yeah.
Sith versus Jedi. Who's the real bad guys? I love that concept, which I think we've touched on it throughout the course of different episodes.
We have our own personal feelings towards it, obviously.
Yes, but I don't think we've ever done that as a specific topic, and I think that's definitely one that could certainly be used as a future topic. We demand that potato be thrown.
Listen, we are.
Well, Dave's wife isn't here.
That's right, and we are not in my family room.
Yeah,
so that would be tough to pull off. Yes. She's still at work.
Yeah, man, everybody wants us to get.
Please enter my age. How old am I? It's close enough.
Yeah, do you really want to say?
Why is it making me log in again?
So anyway, the last one that we have is called That's No Moon, Giant Weapons of Star Wars, the Death Stars, Starkiller Base, Centerpoint Station. So all, again, good topics that we could discuss. That, I think, would require the whiteboard that we were talking about.
Oh, man, yeah, I have to procure said whiteboard. That is that is a necessity.
It's interesting to see like what some of our early episode ideas were, which ones came to pass, which ones we ended up not taking. But some of these you may see again in future episodes of the podcast. Who knows?
No, look, there's always going to be a point where we need the ideas.
Yeah, where it's like, fuck, what do we do this week? I don't know.
It's amazing that we haven't looked back on this and said, oh, yeah, look, let's do one of these.
It's been a long time since we've referenced that list, honestly. Are you still fucking looking for it?
I am. I had to go into the...
just go to StarWars.com.
I did. It gave me a fucking error.
Hold on.
So I've got it in the app now. I'm in the Star Wars app.
I've got it up too, and it took me like 5 seconds.
Why don't you suck a bag of dicks, Jason?
Yeah. So if you're looking at this guy right there,
yeah,
that looks like
Arabesh.
Arabesh, right?
Here's some pages inside.
Yeah, you got this page up?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's got to be Arabesh, right?
Some form of it.
Yeah.
That looks like a apple pie. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it looks like Arabesh.
So you have your answer. Maybe.
There you go. The sacred Jedi text.
So shifting gears a little bit, let's talk about some of our favorite moments from the history of the show, because
true story.
And I kind of wish I had more time to research this, because there have been some
Jason,
fucking,
as opposed to coming up with it at 6:50 this morning. Yeah, I think we should do this. I like it.
Well, as opposed to like having no topic at 6:50 this morning. I mean, we could have gone with that.
Listen, we've had no topic up to like at 1400 with a 1730 taping. So this is not out of the realm. 6:50 in the morning is actually early.
Yeah.
Considering.
But, oh my God, you mentioned the potato thing. Like, when did that start? I'm trying to think of the first instance of the potatoes, because this all goes back to your wife, Kathy, who will listen to the show sometimes when we record, or maybe even listen afterwards. And, obviously we're a couple of assholes and we say things that, don't go over well with other people. And at one point, potatoes started getting thrown. And I think the first instance I was thinking was when we were remote recording.
We were definitely remote recording, because I was at home.
Yeah, you were at home. You were sitting downstairs.
You were in Mississippi. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, and she started fucking chucking potatoes at you from across the room because of something that you
said some stupid shit.
Yeah,
and like she just was like, no. And the best part of that was the surprise of it.
Yeah,
it's just like, what the fuck was that?
And it's right there on video if you go back into our YouTube archives. So
then potatoes flying, and then carrots followed shortly thereafter.
Right, because she loves fucking with, or at least she used to. Like, she hasn't done this in a long time, but she used to fucking take random pictures of me from like Facebook or wherever, and she'd fucking doctor them, and she'd make me look all weird, like she'd like put you on a carrot, me on a carrot or something like that. And I think this all started on something I was wearing once.
I don't
And
know. Oh, well, let's face it. There's some mystique about. We could probably encapsulate the entire 6 to 8 months you were away in all those episodes
Mhm.
because the tank top,
Yep, the tank
the
top was
fucking
fucking
tank top that Vader's wearing over here in the corner,
yep.
which is radiating some sort of fucking weird smell. Um, the tank top, the infamous tank top. Jason
Mhm.
has a thing for tank tops, by the way.
I do. I've always liked tank tops, even when I was like a teenager. I've
Yeah,
always liked them.
for I don't know. I'm not even going to speculate as to why. I was never a tank top guy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, maybe it's for the gun show. Who knows?
Sure.
Young Jason out there, tanning. What is it? The GTL.
GTL, yeah, Gym Tan Laundry.
Gym Tan Laundry.
I didn't do my own laundry back then.
No.
Hell, I barely do it now. So.
Yeah.
But maybe that's neither here nor there.
Gym Tan Laundry. We should, we should do that with the guys when they come in.
Oh, maybe take them up to the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Kind of see the Jersey Shore house.
Yes, we should do that. We should absolutely do that.
Yeah, good idea.
So Scott Rasmussen brings up, I wish we had the video of Jason getting water thrown in his face.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, I mean, we told the story the next episode. But yes, another thing that Dave's wife has done in the past was, I don't even remember what I was saying. I was being an obnoxious asshole. Both of the girls were there. And I turn around, and the next thing I see is boom, water right in my fucking face. Oh my God. There are pictures of it online.
There are pictures. That was, I forget what was going on.
I was being an asshole about something.
Well, that's generally speaking.
Sure.
And Kathy loves it. Look, the way my wife is, so if she's fucking with you, that I mean, she likes you.
Yeah.
Like if you don't see her, she doesn't talk to you, then there's something wrong with you.
Right. So no, she's done some classic shit to contribute to many stories on the show.
Well, the funny part is, so the potatoes and the carrots thing that's what took on a life of its own for like the next fucking 6 months, and even now, we got potatoes and carrots across the chat right now.
Yeah,
it was one of the unfortunate things that happened when we came back to the studio was the potatoes and the carrots wasn't so prevalent,
right?
Because we had a random potatoing later on before you came back,
right? I
remember that happening, but yeah, so it definitely, it was one of those things that has its own place. Maybe we should take some sort of potato and carrot imagery and like have it in the studio here as an homage to that.
That would be,
or try and do like a screen grab of the YouTube when I'm like wincing at the potato coming like flying at me. I'm almost positive you could see it on the screen
at least once. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. So holy shit, that's fucking great.
Kristen, the next we want tell Kristen that we would love to have a pizza for dinner when we come over.
Okay, I'll let her know.
All right, fair enough.
So
Darth Vader potato head.
Yeah, that would be funny.
So yeah, potatoes and carrots. Like we were talking about, have we moved into favorite episodes? Is that what happened?
Well, no, I'm talking about like favorite moments, not necessarily favorite episodes, but favorite moments. Like for instance, one for me that I wrote down is fucking with Dave about the holiday special. Because I got him to watch the holiday special, not once, but twice so far over the course of the first 100 episodes.
Well, and really trashing the holiday special, like sitting there and getting to trash it live on the YouTube, I think that was a lot of fun. That really was a lot of fun. And it's definitely taken a life of its own.
Oh yeah, because all the listeners picked up on it and they started fucking with you.
The whip, stir. Yeah. God help us if we can't fucking have some whip and stirring.
I think it was Matt Jensen who posted in the private Facebook group the crawl, the Star Wars crawl, and all it was stir,
whip, stir. Yep. That was definitely a thing.
So that's just and that happens with the show for some reason. We've got this dedicated group of listeners, and shit like that just starts taking on a life of its own.
I don't. It's fucking whipping and stirring.
Yeah.
Yep. There it is. Now it's in the chat.
Yep.
We've caught up.
Yep. And then of course some of our other like recurring bits, like something simple like Do It Live.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how that started. I mean, obviously we know where it came from.
Right.
But one day we just started fucking fuck it, we'll do it live. And it just kept happening and it just became again another recurring bit on the show.
Doing it live is just like fixing it in post.
Oh, there you go. Fix it in post.
Yeah, fixing it in post and doing it live is basically synonymous because both things. Well, actually, no, that's not true because we never fix it in post, and we
almost never. Yeah,
generally speaking, do it live.
Right.
Like 98% of the time.
Yeah. Funny story. I was last week's episode, I was going to edit out myself doing the General Huck speech and going, yeah, and the Jordan, and and because you like reacted so strongly. Like, I'm like, oh God, did I do something bad? I'm like, no, I'm not saying that for real. I'm just saying, like, it's like a caricature kind of thing. And I'm like, fuck, should I edit that out?
But hearing it like that with the motioning and
right,
Jesus
like,
Christ.
Well,
why don't you just overlay the actual Hitler footage?
Well, I was thinking more from South Park when Cartman did the whole the Passion of the Christ episode. Did you ever see that one?
Yes.
And I was kind of like thinking more of that, but like I have nothing against anybody. It's not me. It was just a caricature.
Right. Right.
So,
yes.
But anyway, I was considering editing that out, fixing it in post, but I couldn't find it in the episode, and I'm like, I don't want to listen to this whole thing just to find that one part to edit out. So fuck it. I'll deal with the consequences later.
He in fact did not do it live.
I didn't fix it in post. That's what I didn't.
Oh, right. We did do it live.
Yeah.
So apparently they want Bronco Fett wants a really good picture of you guys clashing lightsabers so he can doctor it up.
He actually did a really good picture. Give me the. It was so he did the one picture where my face wasn't in it, and then we did another one afterwards that actually did end up really well, that my face was in.
Well, we have like a little bit more space now.
Oh yeah.
So... oh my God, we're gonna break it. Got him. Yes. I'm undefeated.
I tried to get him with the vented part, but he saw it coming. All right, hopefully that was enough for you. Nerd alert.
That's right.
So another favorite moment of mine, and it's not a single moment, it's the Dave rants. It's sometimes you'll just be so spun up about something, and I think the cyclist rant is probably the most classic of all of the Dave rants. And I'd like to find that. I don't know which episode that was.
I think the guys had actually mentioned it. It was maybe 3-4 episodes ago. It had come up in conversation. Somebody was like saying, "Oh, it's in this part."
Really? Somebody found it?
I think so.
Oh, shit.
I don't remember. Because we were talking about it. We're trying to figure out like if
we were trying to figure it out.
Yeah, we were in the studio.
Yes, because that was as you were driving over here.
Right.
It happened.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It might have been. It was either before I left for Mississippi, or was that gap where I was home between Mississippi and Texas.
Right.
I don't know.
Because we did like what, 2 episodes while you were home.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. That ignorant ass.
Yeah, but I mean that was probably your most classic rant. You had some good rants on the show, but I think that one is still the one that sticks out in most people's minds.
Apparently, Stonebleeds rode an adult tricycle around town today. Well, if you're in an over 55 community, then that's perfectly fine.
I think we're going to need some context for that, Stonebleeds. You can't just say that you rode a tricycle around town all day without, giving us a little bit more.
Yeah, that's.
Did you see what Big Swede just said?
Oh yeah. Well, if you're going to have these lightsabers, you got to do something with them.
I mean, we're doing a fucking Star Wars podcast. I mean, what are we going to draw the line at playing with lightsabers? No, we're not.
Fuck no.
Sorry.
Look on the YouTube thing. Look at these guys.
Yeah. Hello. So another thing that I wrote down for famous moments or favorite moments was just catching up on a lot of material that I probably would not have caught up on had we not been doing the podcast. Things like Rebels, Clone Wars, the Darth Bane books.
Clone Wars.
A lot of the fucking
Have we really caught up on the Clone Wars, Jason?
Well, that's we'll get more into that when we talk about future topics. What would Lando say at a time like this?
It's a dynamite taste.
Another recurring bit that we just kind of. Wow, that's fucking great. but it just came up naturally. It was just one day you mentioned we were talking about Lando, and you mentioned the whole Colt 45 thing, and that kind of grew into its own thing.
We just got reminded again to watch the Clone Wars.
Oh, good. I'll get right on that. But
well, yeah. I did put something in the chat say, hey, remind us that we have to watch more Clone Wars.
Yeah. But I mean, really though, a lot of this stuff I probably would not have gotten caught up on if it wasn't for the show.
Oh, hell no.
Because especially of how busy I've been in the last couple of years, and I'm sure you're in the same boat.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff would have easily fallen off the radar. I never would have gotten to it. I probably would have just stuck to the movies, maybe read a book here or there, and not caught up on any of the shows or anything like that. So
yeah, Clone Wars and Rebels especially, because even with Rebels, I when Rebels initially came out, I was recording it, was really interested in it, and then I just ran out of time. I just didn't have time in my life to watch it, and it was something I tried to do and couldn't. So I would have never gotten back to it without having done it for the show.
Yeah.
So, and yes, we have to finish Clone Wars. There's more and more stuff is in the Clone Wars that people, not just the usual suspects, people tell me that we have to, pick up on the canon. Like last week when I had the revelation about Bane being canonical.
Oh yeah.
Apparently that's been a thing forever, and I just fucking
we didn't know because we haven't watched that part of Clone Wars.
And you know what? That's why we're not here to bullshit you, the audience, right?
Yeah.
That's like, fuck that. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I know everything. Like, fuck. I think if nothing else, we've never and I think the guys have already, if they haven't already enforced it, reinforced this concept for us anyway. It's just, we don't know everything there is to know about Star Wars. We have our own opinions. We're not afraid to share them. And
I mean, really,
if you have a different opinion, then you're wrong and go fuck yourself.
Yeah. And honestly, who the fuck does know all of this stuff? I mean, really, there's so much shit out there. So many fucking books, so much TV and all that. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you do know all of that stuff, then I guess don't listen to us, because quite frankly, what is this? You're going to give them my Wi-Fi password?
Apparently not.
Man, we're doing this, huh? All right. Well, show them, not me. All right. So, all right, let me finish my favorite moments, and then we'll take a break before we move into future episode topics. So
we're going to talk about my favorite moments?
Well, I mean, we can do yours too, but Hank was the last one that I had.
Oh, really?
That we haven't already talked about. Love Hank. Love having him on the show. Love your stories about the first times you did Hank, like with your wife. Again, a lot of these stories revolve around Kathy for some reason.
Yeah, scaring the shit out of her with the lights out, doing Hank.
That, or when you were talking about being on the bus at fucking survival school, and you're gonna knock it the fuck off right now.
Yeah,
and,
that broad leaning into me.
That's good stuff with Hank. And then of course, every once in a while he'll make a cameo on the show.
And Hank's a good guest, even if he's not quite on board with what we do.
So that was kind of the favorite moments that I was able to come up with, like, on such short notice.
Yeah, Isaac mentions the Marvel hate. I'll tell you what's really funny is everybody that tries to get me to like gives me very reasonable and like good factual like reasons that I would probably like all the Marvel stuff, makes me not want to watch it more. I swear to God, like somebody could come at me with like, hey, this is like, there's like Wonder Woman DP and that's DC, but you've got
Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, there's scissoring with Black Widow and Captain Marvel or something like that. I'd be like,
I'd pay to see that.
I'd still be like, okay. I mean, I'm sure I can catch a 15-second clip of that on some website,
Pornhub,
or something along those lines. Yeah, there's
Mr. Skin.
The more people tell me that like these Marvel connections, how much I'm going to like this stuff, the more it pushes me away from it. It's gotten to a point now where it's just like, I don't even know why it's happening. It just happens.
Yeah.
So it
just makes you angrier and angrier.
It's not even that it makes me angry. It's just I just don't fucking care.
Right.
I don't care. And right now there's like more Thanos like memes and all this other shit going on out there, and fucking Yeah, I liked. You know what I liked? I liked the first fucking Iron Man. I thought I thought the first Iron Man was pretty good.
Yeah.
And after that, too much. It's too fucking much. It's too much.
All right.
Marvel saturation is a real thing.
I believe that that's going to eventually start happening. Honestly,
It's happening. It's already happened. There's too fucking much. Honestly,
who
who's
the
vibrating?
fuck is calling me? Decline. Number I don't know from Mount Holly, which means it's probably
There's cloning. It's a fucking God. It's so fucking annoying.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna piss right now.
All right. So we'll be back after this word from our sponsor.
I held the goddamn sign. Raining.
Oh, see, that's why I do this show, is just for things like that. What time is it? Oh, I can just write down the timestamp on the fucking recording. No. 104. It's like, what the fuck? Come on. This fake number gave me a voicemail. I'm gonna see now. Let's listen. Oh, my volume's down. Fuck. Okay, so it's nothing. Nothing. They left me a blank voicemail. Thanks, assholes. It's a taste. I got a text message earlier. Who did I get a text from?
Hate the fucking rain.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go piss while you're. You couldn't have done that outside.
I did. I also did it in here. Yeah. Agree to disagree. Yeah, Marvel, you think it's awesome. It is not. I don't know why. I don't know where that came from. I gotta be honest with you. It's like because something's up with my vocal cords, so my trying to get Hank to show up is going to be problematic today. Maybe he'll show up for the 100th episode. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll have time. Where's Big Lovin' at? Is he fucking coaching basketball or some shit? I see Don. Where's Big Lovin' at? All right. It's a celebration. V Moriarty, Top Spy. Yeah, guys, I am so fucking tired. It is like really, really ridiculous. Who's watching Resistance? Is any of you guys watching Resistance out there?
All right. We good?
Yes. I asked them if anyone was watching Resistance. All right. Confirm that Big Lovin' is coaching basketball.
Oh, fine. All right. Give me 15 seconds of silence and we'll get back into it. And we're back. It was a little more than 15, but
yeah, I feel like it was.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
At least we weren't snickering and giggling through it.
Exactly. Because that would be unprofessional for anybody to laugh and snicker during the 30 seconds of silence.
And then have to go into another 30 seconds of silence.
Yep. Thankfully, we don't do that here on the All Things Star Wars podcast.
Right.
But
we are anything if not professional.
Did you have anything else for favorite moments before we move into future topic ideas?
Getting our YouTube audience.
Oh yeah, because
like pushing for that 100 YouTube subscribers, and so that we could get the thing like really, the one, if nothing else, we can say that the good thing about you getting going to Mississippi and to Texas and all that stuff with the remote recording is the fact that we got Google Hangouts started and we got the chat kind of moving.
Well, yeah, and the fact that we didn't start the show on YouTube. A lot of people might not realize that, but the first, I don't know
Yeah,
what,
this is
40.
a podcast, believe it or not. I
Yeah,
mean,
the first 40 episodes I think were strictly audio only. I don't think we had YouTube going by then, at least like the first 30. So,
easily. In fact, is I wanted to look back to see like when we actually started doing it,
mhm,
and I, I just think that by happenstance, because you had to go away and getting that ability and being able to needing to use YouTube to potentially get the
extract the audio and
yeah
all
to
that. Yeah.
capture the audio from what we were doing,
Yep.
and brought in this audience and developed it into the Sidebar Cantina. And
Mhm.
our short-lived sports episodes
Yeah,
that
yeah.
may come back when football season
Oh,
comes
well,
back,
yeah, I
because we
think
have, we know that we're going to be doing a fantasy football league, because there's,
yep.
obviously out of our core group of loyal listeners, there's a lot of football fans.
Yeah, like
So
fantasy football players. So yeah, so we'll probably have to get back to it, assuming we have time, which I would hope so.
yeah, we'll figure it out. Well, if nothing else, we can dedicate a portion of each podcast to, once fantasy football starts, we can do that.
Yeah.
But that's future David Jason problems.
Yes.
So the YouTube is a big thing. I loved watching the video of us reacting to the trailer for Last
Oh,
Jedi.
yeah, that's
Getting that
right.
first person look, like us watching it, and you having the actual imagery on the screen in the corner.
Yep.
I thought that worked out fucking
And
brilliantly.
seeing our honest initial
Yeah,
reactions to
yeah,
that.
that was cool, just for me to watch me reacting.
Yeah, yeah.
Because excuse me, it's one thing to just sit there and actually be reacting to it, but then to see yourself reacting to it in
Mhm.
that way, I thought was pretty neat.
Which, by the way, we probably should do that again for the first episode 9 trailer, honestly.
I agree, if we get an opportunity to do that.
Well, I mean, we know what day is going to come out, so we just need to
Are
plan
we
ahead.
100% sure? I mean,
Come on, like, there's no fucking way that it's not going to debut during that episode 9 panel the first day of
so
fucking
that's like
celebration.
April 12th.
Yeah. So
So
I'll make sure I'll fucking bring the laptop in here on like the 11th. I'll set up the video. I'll fucking test it. I'll do all that shit, and I'll make sure that the day before it's ready to go.
well, I got to
So
make sure here's the problem. So my happy ass is got all kinds of shit going on that day.
I mean, you can't spare 30 minutes to come over and fucking watch the shit. There's got
Well,
to be a 30-minute gap in that schedule somewhere.
we'll fix it. We'll get it in.
Yeah. Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because we're doing that. Like, we have to do that for this, because this is going to be the first footage from episode 9 that we see at all. So, I don't know. And even if it means like I have to wait several hours for you to finally get away from whatever it is you're doing
Well,
before
that's
I
what we did.
watch
I
it.
mean, we did that kind of worked that way the last time. Where
Well,
it
the
was
last
like,
time was the Monday Night Football thing, where it debuted like during Monday Night Football for the
well, there
episode.
was something else where we were at work together, and it was like we hadn't watched it. What was that for?
I think that was the first trailer for Last Jedi.
Was it Last Jedi, or was that for like Solo or something?
Could have been Solo.
It might have been. It's tough
Yeah.
to keep track of all that shit. So I'm just gonna throw a random time in here, and then we'll shoot for that. It's because it's a Friday. The 12th is a Friday.
Correct. And I'm pretty sure I'm off that day.
Yeah, I won't be, but I have a doctor's appointment. Then I have lunch. So we'll figure it out. Well, yeah, I agree with you. It has to happen. It's just a matter of fucking me getting my.
In fact, I know I'm off that day because that's a 3-day weekend for me, and that's technically that's my first day off of my vacation stretch.
Ah, that's right, because that leads right into your vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
anyway, any other favorite moments? If they come to you later, you can just chime in.
Yeah,
You
it's
don't
just
have to,
like the big things were the trailer, seeing us on the trailer, kind of just getting on YouTube originally. I like I said, I'm still shooting. I want that 1,000. If we can get to 1,000, that'd be fucking phenomenal.
Which we got to do some research for ways to kind of push our own
market
stuff.
ourselves a little bit
Yeah,
better.
which is why I'm kind of getting back on Instagram.
Yeah, well,
lately.
that's the thing. It takes so much time to market properly. And when I was retired, I had more time to fuck off and be on Instagram and do shit.
Yeah.
And God damn it, I haven't had time.
Yep. I feel you. So, all right,
Yeah.
another thing that I wanted to talk about before we close this out is topics that we would like to do in the
Right.
next 100 episodes. Because we already went through the list of some initial ideas we had.
Mm-hmm.
I want to kind of start spitballing some more ideas for future episodes to do for the
Yep.
next 100. Because for fuck's sake, these first 100 episodes went by quick.
God, yeah,
They went by really fucking
They
quick.
really did.
And it felt like, oh man, we really didn't have time to get all of the fucking topics that we wanted out there.
Well,
So,
well, let's face it. Some of it was driven by what was coming out. We had
Mhm.
movies coming
Yeah.
out. You know, we had. You figure by the time when we started this, May the 4th of 17.
Yep.
It was. We've had 3 movies.
We had just had Rogue One.
That's right. So we were post
So
Rogue One. At
so
that
we
point.
were building up to Last Jedi, and then we had Solo right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we had a lot. Plus, the end of Rebels, fucking Thrawn. We had a lot of shit to catch up on.
Yeah,
and we're still trying to catch up on with Clone Wars, which
and we did, and we did a lot of the comics too, because the
Yeah.
comics were a big thing for trying to get canon out of.
Yeah, which
And-
initially some of them really were good stuff. Like the beginning of Star Wars and the first Darth Vader, I thought were really good.
Mhm.
With the whole build up with Vader finding out that Luke was his son and all
Right.
this stuff. Like that was important shit that happened in the Star Wars canon.
Yeah, and then they kind of flooded us out with
Yeah,
comics at one point where the Phasma shit and all that other stuff.
yeah.
So anyway, rather than hashing over what didn't work,
Yeah.
I think one of the big things we have to do, we have to finish Clone Wars.
Yes, and that's on my list as well. Finish Clone Wars. That's exactly what I have written down here.
Yeah.
And I think we will, because we have another fucking season coming. Season 7. So we better fucking be caught up by then, which I thought it was supposed to be out this fall. That was the impression that I had. Apparently not. Apparently it's sometime middle of next year. So
yeah,
because
they got to get the streaming service off the ground first,
Yeah.
in order to make that work.
Yeah, for some reason I was under the impression it was debuting with the streaming service just alongside the Mandalorian, but that's not true. So we've got time to finish this before the new stuff comes out.
Your ear was itching.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, that's on my list. Another thing that's on my list that was something that I wanted to talk about last time too was Knights of the Old Republic, the original Xbox game, which has been ported over to both 360 and the Xbox One at this point. It's a long game from what I understand, but it is a single player game as opposed to the Old Republic, which is the online MMO and all that.
Right.
Which Knights of the Old Republic, I've probably put 50 hours into this game, but I've never come close to finishing it, only because I've had to restart it so many goddamn times,
right,
on a bunch of different platforms. So I want just once, fire it up on the Xbox One, which I own it on there because when they had that big sale.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I got like every title that I could get.
Yeah,
I made sure I downloaded it, and
so,
to include the Republic Commando.
Yeah, which I have also, which I was playing like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good game.
Yeah,
I'm hung up in a spot right now. I don't know why the fuck.
I don't know.
The save point that I made, apparently I got to a point where I fucked myself before the save point. So then you know how when you go to that save point, now you're already in trouble.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
That sucks. But yeah, Knights of the Old Republic, great fucking game from everything I've heard. From what I've played, it is really fun, but I just haven't had the time to sink my teeth in and fucking just grind it out and finish it. So that's again one of those things where if both of our workloads slow down at some point, we can try to knock out. It's obviously not the thing like, oh, let's do Knights of the Old Republic next week. It's not going to be that. It's got to take like a month of fucking prep.
Yeah, because we got to play the game,
and
then we also look. It's one of those things. You're right. You have to have time. And right now, I'm not going to be finished fucking college until the end of the year.
Yeah.
But it won't be so task intensive that I won't have some time to like put aside for the game.
Yeah, so this could be like maybe next winter or something.
And we haven't done a deep dive into the Old Republic yet.
No, there's so much we could talk about just in the Old Republic.
And it makes me wonder. I think for the Old Republic, I'd like to, since you are probably you're the person that has gotten a character through almost every storyline.
Yes.
You know, I think going into the storylines, I'll have my one character that I'll be able to speak to.
Well, you know what we could do too is we could just like pick an episode where just reviewing the Sith Warrior campaign is enough to fill an episode. So
that's true.
I mean, we could conceivably like do a Sith Warrior campaign episode, and then if you ever get time to play like a trooper, I think you would love the troopers. By the way, we could level like troopers together and then talk about the trooper storyline.
Well, and here's the thing. I think the Old Republic game is really it's. I'm not being an MMO guy.
Mhm.
I'm into this just because because it's Star Wars, and not just because of like the biblical Star Wars. I'm just talking about it's Star Wars in a way that I just really appreciate how much development went into this
Yes,
for
it's
all these
immersive.
different storylines.
It's very immersive.
And even though the gameplay is not my cup of tea,
Mhm.
the fact that there's so much story involved in it keeps making me want to go back and play it.
Yeah.
So that's a big reason I want to get done at least this one character. And I think it's relevant. I I really think that a game like this that has had so much like maybe it's just me being naive, but I'd like to think that with the Old Republic having so much, it's been out for what, over 10 years?
The game The Old Republic, I think
Yeah.
it came out in 2012, so
All right, so
7.
7 years and it's still going.
Yeah.
So 7, 8 years of people subscribing and like the continuous story development. I mean, they're
Yep.
still updating.
Yeah.
Even now.
And there's talk of an expansion being announced at Celebration.
All right, so it's the uh yeah, I'm not gonna put her on the podcast right now.
Okay. Does she know she was on the podcast last week?
Yeah, she hates when I do that.
But she kept talking to you though, even though you said we're on the podcast.
To her benefit. Um, so yeah, I like the idea. I think that talking about the Old Republic still has relevance
Sure.
because I truly believe that Star Wars is going to continue to glean content from things that are in the Old Republic.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
as we know, they already have. They've proved
Mhm.
it in Solo. There's little Easter eggs here and there.
Yeah,
for
and
things.
there's rumor, I'm only going to say it's a rumor, that the Benioff and Weiss movies are going to be set in the Old Republic.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah,
come
but
across.
I'm not gonna put any stock into that. I'm not saying this is gospel, just a rumor, all clickbaity stuff. But goddamn, that would be sweet.
Yep.
Anyway, so let's bang out some more topics that we want to talk about. Knights of the Old Republic being a big one. I've talked about this a lot. The astronomy of Star Wars. I really want to deep dive into how big the fucking Star Wars galaxy probably is, how many planets are in the fucking Star Wars galaxy, and why it actually makes sense, for instance, for Luke to just fucking disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Where he can just go to a world that nobody's been to for hundreds of years, possibly, because the galaxy is so fucking big. I think they estimated in the Milky Way galaxy, in our galaxy, there's like 100,000 stars or 100 million stars, some shit like
Billions.
that.
It's in the billions.
Billions,
Dude.
billions of stars in our galaxy. So, yeah, that opens up such a world of possibilities for things going on within the Star Wars galaxy. And not to mention, in the fucking Legends material, the Yuzon Vong, they came from a different galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
So that just opens up so much in the way of possibilities.
Yeah. I just did a quick Google just to validate, like, make sure I'm not talking out my ass.
Mhm.
The Milky Way, 250 billion stars plus or minus 150 billion. Still in the billions.
So yes, even if you go with a full minus, that's still 100 billion stars.
Right. And there was shit in the news today, which I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't like how they did, headline grabbing shit, clickbaiting shit for like they've discovered another Earth. Well, they didn't. They found 4 planets and like it's like Kepler 186 or 486 F, I think they're saying, is like in that Goldilocks zone.
Yeah, where it's got to be the perfect distance away from that star based on the temperature that it puts off to where you could sustain water on the planet.
And it's in the Cygnus constellation, and the star itself is a lot smaller than ours. It's a younger star than our sun is.
Which means the planet would have to be closer than Earth is to our sun.
It would have to be closer. So, and there's like 4 planets potentially in the Goldilocks zone in this particular system.
Which again, that just raises so many fucking possibilities for a discussion as it relates to the Star Wars universe. So we have to do that.
And it makes me wonder, like, when we can even go so far as to look at the images that we see, like we talked about a little before, with like orbital mechanics with the Death Star in Star Wars and New Hope. with entering the Yavin system and then orbiting the planet. So there's definitely a lot to talk about there.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm way into the idea of getting into just astronomy in general, especially this summer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and we're like you said, there's somewhere we can go in like Pennsylvania to see the Milky Way.
Oh yeah, dark sky.
I want to go
area.
there because I have never seen the actual Milky Way, like the fucking like the purpley clouds and shit in the sky. I want to see that. That sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway, you got any other topics that you want to hit? Because I've got a few more, but I want to give you a chance to say some.
No, keep going.
Right.
I had a couple, but we kind of hit it already. I've been like interjecting as we've been talking.
Okay, another big one, the Republic Commando novels. I know Bronco Fett has been on our fucking asses about doing this, but my son Robert just recently, a couple of weeks ago, was like, Dad, do you have any of the Republic Commando novels? I'm like, no, why do you ask? He's like, because all of my friends are saying that they're such really good books. I'm like, okay, so this means that we're probably going to have to read these at some point.
Yeah, I never read the Republic Commando stuff. Yeah. We don't have any sitting here.
No, there's
Jedi text.
None in the sacred texts, but we can get it easy enough. I can get digital copies really easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently they're really fucking good. And they're one of those things too where they probably wouldn't be, I mean, even though they're Legends material, they probably could still fit within the canonical timeline without any
it's like loss. Yeah, it's like that with so many other things.
Yeah, like with the Darth Bane books. That's why we're reading Bane still, because even though it's technically not canon anymore, it still could perfectly fit within the timeline until they do something to fuck it up. So yeah, that's definitely something that needs to be on our radar for the next 100 episodes. Finishing Clone Wars, we talked about Resistance season 1. At some point, if they like release it as a season, we should probably catch up on it just to see what it was about.
Yeah, I'm not that interested in. There's a lot of the young adult stuff that I'm just like, unless there's something that like jumps out in the canon, I just that kind of goes along the lines with, you know, making assumptions that the things that we're going to see in the movies that are like big parts of the story, we're not necessarily going to have to watch all this other shit.
No, and we won't have to.
But you know, and maybe at some point we'll want to. I just like this, the way the storyline has been. It's way too. I don't know. There was a depth to Clone Wars, even though the story I didn't really like in season 1 and 2 that there was episodes where we're just like, bleh. Yeah. But the way the story was being told, it was tolerable.
Yeah, and the bigger narrative,
yeah,
you know, was compelling, even though the individual stories were garbage at times.
Oh, yeah, I mean, but even to a more just my ability to sit there and pay attention to it. I mean, really, like, however it fixates into my ADHD, I was okay with Clone Wars, but with Resistance, I just have not been able to sit still and actually like take it in. Yeah,
well, the only ones I've even tried to watch were the pilots that we
did on the show.
I haven't even tried to watch it since then. So, and then obviously we've got, you know, the new movies, the new TV shows. I really am hopeful for The Mandalorian. Like I personally think that I will be watching every episode every week. So,
well, yeah, it's probably we're gonna have to do something for. Listen, The Mandalorian, and with all this like new content that's coming out, obviously that's going to dominate what we're talking about in Star Wars.
Yeah, but something like the Cassian series,
we say that now, but it's again, excuse me, the Cassian series is going to be a live action thing also, right?
Yeah,
so it's going to have fucking Inigo Montoya fucking reprising his role.
Yeah, I mean,
I bet there's going to be some shit in there. Look, for you fuckers that like Rogue One so goddamn much, yeah, I'm pointing at you, and you know who you are. All you Rogue One fucking lovers, you're going to watch this Cassian series because the anticipation is it's going to have the same feel to it.
If K2SO is in it, then maybe.
I'll fucking bet you, all you motherfuckers that want to watch this goddamn that just like, oh, Rogue One and Cassian wasn't that bad and blah 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 blah, whatever. All I can tell you is that the only reason that you'd watch this fucking series is because you think it's going to have like the same feeling to it.
Yeah,
and I'm willing to bet that they can't fucking sustain that.
Yeah, probably.
So while I throw my pen in your general direction. But not on purpose. I think we're going to have to talk about the casting series at some point or another,
Mhm.
whether it's just in a recap format. And that's the other thing too. Like we're talking about all this stuff, and we have a format.
Mhm.
Whether you would out there believe it or not, there's a generalized format to how we do the
A
show, and
method to our madness.
yeah, and so maybe we vary the format a little bit. As we that's something we haven't thought about. Like
That is
we've been
true.
kind of rolling right along, and things seem to be working, but it's like it's one of those things like is there something we could be doing better, like from the
Sure.
format standpoint? I mean, I don't
That's
think we've even had a conversation about it.
that's a valid point. I mean, maybe if we dropped our week, we'd gain more listeners, but I mean, it would like it could destroy, part of the flow that we have. Would it be better or worse,
Oh, I mean, listen, our dialogue and how we interact with each other is going to be the fucking same regardless.
Yeah.
It's just, maybe instead of doing like, our week in Star Wars, maybe we start doing, a Mandalorian recap or something
Okay.
like that. Just
Yeah.
having that way we can encapsulate things without having to dedicate an entire episode to it. And
It's
because
valid.
and between let's face it, this is generally speaking, we thought we were going to be done fucking 25 minutes ago, and here we are still talking, and we're at the 90-minute mark, sans pee break.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a 90-minute to 2 hour long podcast. So I think that doing a recap for some of the stuff as we get more and more content is, I think it's something to think about. And
Sure.
it's
Yeah. I
something I
mean,
was thinking about as we were talking about, here we are. Fuck, you have it in the notes here. Like, where's the podcast go over the next 2 years? This kind of goes along those lines. It's like the 2 year anniversary is coming up for us doing this fucking thing. 2 fucking years. It's
yeah.
insane. It's
Yeah.
absolutely insane. It's
Yeah.
almost as sane as fucking two dudes, driving over 1,200 miles round trip to fucking come and sit in the studio and look at us do this shit.
Yeah.
It's almost as insane as that, if
Yeah.
if not more.
Yeah, yeah, probably more. But yeah, it's weird to think about. Yeah, I'm sure we didn't really think we were gonna go this far with it when we first started, but
Mm.
here we are, 2 years later, still sitting in the studio.
Yes, Isaac, we dropped the character of the week. And no, I'm not saying we're going to drop our week in Star Wars. I'm not saying at all. All I'm saying is that we haven't had a conversation about the format. And as what there are 5 books in the Republic Commando. Thank you,
Okay,
Broker Fett.
well, that's good.
That's doable. I think it's doable,
Sure,
even
yeah.
with your pace. Um, I got to do it. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, and they've been out long enough to where it's like there's no rush. Like we got to review this now before the masses get there. And
Well, it's not that. It's more like, okay, we've read one book now. Let's not wait 3 months before we do the next one.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's the shit where I don't want to like. We, I think we're okay with the Bane ones, but
uh-huh.
it'll have been almost 2 months since we talked about the second Bane book. By the time we actually do it,
Yeah,
that's the shit that we got to avoid.
yeah,
So we got to, and same thing with the Clone Wars. If once we decide we're gonna do it, we got to fucking do it and just
yeah.
and just rip through it as much as we can. Not every week. Fuck that.
Yeah,
I don't want to
that
talk
would
about fucking Clone Wars every
that would be
week.
tough.
But yeah, I don't know. Just like everybody that's out there, like you throw the Lost Tribe of the Sith. That was a good book series.
Yeah, well, of course, that tied into the whole the later novels,
Mm-hmm.
the the Fate of the Jedi or whichever series it was,
Yeah.
because it was
Fuck,
because the Lost Tribe of the Sith was kind of the backstory to that
mm-hmm.
Sith planet that
It
eventually.
very very like a very old backstory, and
Yeah,
like we were talking about in one of our ideas for going back to the roots of how we feel like the Jedi and the Sith started.
yeah,
As I wrote it down, the Big Bang of the Force.
yeah.
Um, those were excellent books. If you haven't read them, they're good books as
Yeah,
well.
which I have not. But I've kind of read the synopsis of them because
Yeah.
I knew how they tied into like the future books and all that, and it's cool. It's a cool concept for sure.
In fact, I remember I don't know that we spent an episode on it, but I definitely talked at length about the Lost Tribe of the Sith.
Hmm.
So much so that I know in my Kindle library, I had re-downloaded it.
Did you?
Yeah, or in my Nook library because I had it on the Nook at the time
Ah,
before my Nook was stolen. So I re-downloaded those. So and I pretty sure that's how I have them. I don't have physical copies of them,
yeah.
but yeah, definitely. It's
Was that when you left your backpack in the bar in Maui?
Yeah, I left two drunk assholes to watch it, and then they proceeded to get thrown out of the fucking bar.
See, if you had just left when I did that night, then none of that would have happened.
I forgot you were on that trip.
I was, because I just remember seeing you the next morning. Like my fucking backpack got stolen last
Doing
night.
my fucking hangover like, oh, here's this stamp on my hand. What the bar does this go to? Here's this bracelet on my arm. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I
And
remember catching up with you the next morning. And you were going from like place to place looking for your
yeah, and
backpack.
fucking calling the Maui cops, and then you fucking dickbags.
Yeah,
It wasn't even a Nook. It wasn't even the Nook. It was my fucking camera. I had a real nice Sony camera. It was my travel camera. I had taken a bunch of great pictures of Maui, you know, in the sunset, because we're at that fucking restaurant,
yeah.
and all that shit gone. Oh, don't scratch your face, Dave.
Okay.
Well, no, the dog scratched me in my, like, to wake me up the other morning. She
Yeah.
like got me in the face, and next thing I know, there's like blood all over my face. And I was like, don't want to fucking pick that scab. That'd be
So
gross for the YouTube audience.
So the last topic that I had in my list of future topics is more AMAs. I know our listeners, our most loyal people who are always in the chat in the YouTube, they've been asking for another AMA for quite a while now, and I'd certainly like to do that. I don't want to do it too soon, as you know, we're still trying to grow our audience a little bit, and I want to get more voices in there with the AMAs. But they're always fun, you know, because you never know what these people are going to fucking ask, and some of these guys are crazy out there. So
yeah, they are. And there's a look out our loyal listeners and our casual listeners to the podcast, and the people that have given us 5-star reviews, the people that are just foaming at the mouth to give us 5-star reviews, so that we can continue to grow the podcast. You know, there are some really, really smart Star Wars people out there, and people that have a lot of really good theories and shit like that.
Yeah.
That ask us about, and we'll fucking give you our spin on it. You know, do you have a like, you know, fan theories? Like, do you have a crazy theory out there that you'd like us to run the ground with our mindset and how we think about Star Wars?
That's the best forum to get us to talk about stuff like that.
Not talking about right or wrong, just talking about, like, hey, do you want to hear how we fucking would go through that? And again, run that to ground. That's a military term, apparently.
Yeah.
Nice. You're making
starting to get messy.
Yeah, you were making a mess. 10-year anniversary AMA with your wives. So we've actually talked about that, having the wives on the show, and they to this point they have been against it.
Yes.
So we can you know, give her a go.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun, but
I think so too. I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
But they're not as into it as we are.
I mean, they love busting our balls as it is. So this would be the perfect chance for them to fucking give us a bunch of shit live on the air.
I can tell you right now, they most likely just it's maybe it's the camera thing. You know, maybe we can have them like off camera just busting our balls.
Oh, maybe that would have to be like an audio only.
Yeah, maybe
podcast.
Maybe just to get them to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and then I was going to say secretly tape them, but then that could be misconstrued. So you know what? Never mind. I didn't say that. I did not hear that.
There's no evidence whatsoever that he just said that.
No, none.
All right, so
not on multiple fucking broadcasts.
So that's where we're gonna close this out, because we got to get prepared for episode.
I'm fucking tired of my.
Dave's got to get some sleep, and we've really got to get prepared for episode 100. I have a feeling that next weekend is going to be a fucking ballbuster of a weekend when the refugees get here, and we're going to be running around like crazy motherfuckers, going every which way.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm super, super looking forward to everybody getting the episode 100 experience, to include us.
Yeah.
You know, I think that it's one of those things, like, you can't, it's going to come up on us, and it's going to happen really quick. And then afterwards, it's still going to be kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it's going to take us after the episode and after everything comes out, that it's going to take us some time to digest it.
I agree.
And, you know, go from there. 100 fucking episodes, though. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's weird how fast it came.
That's
what she said.
Yeah, got it. That's what we hope she doesn't say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a great adventure, and yeah, we hope we just hope everyone else enjoys it as much as we do.
Yeah, and I think it'll be good. I think we'll have some good content in it, in
Absolutely.
addition to just us,
Doing our
bullshitting
usual,
with a couple of listeners.
yeah,
So,
our usual shenanigans.
yep.
I do want to emphasize though, for those you guys that are out there, like I said, the casual podcast listener that's listening to us, we really like, this is something that Jason and I have kind of been talking about, like, but not, haven't actually executed on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we got to figure out, like, I'd love to get some feedback from everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and you getting back into Instagram, and hopefully we can get some out of that.
Yep.
The lighting just changed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the lights have been kind of like
Not
dimming and
not having a
brightening.
stroke then.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I just I'd love to get some listener feedback, even if it's just like, maybe you're not an iTunes person, maybe you're streaming us through whatever variable things. We haven't really, we've been doing this for so long. It's we forget sometimes, like every once in a while we'll throw in at the end, Instagram, whatever, blah blah blah. But there's a lot of different places where you can pick us up on a podcast. If
Mhm.
there's a venue out there that we're not on that you think we should be, you got to let us know.
Yeah.
Either via Instagram or Twitter or whatever,
Or Facebook.
or Facebook. Look, we all know that the kids aren't on Facebook anymore.
True.
So
Yeah.
hopefully the toy collecting, Star Wars, fucking obsessed person out there is most likely on Facebook.
Yeah. Because I mean, really, is that even our demographic? Like realistically, like
Well,
younger
regardless,
people who.
I got a that one kid that listened to the podcast, that was a friend of my daughter's, that
Oh,
really enjoyed our banter, because
yeah.
let's face it, we grew up in the military, and we don't talk like adults. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
we do not talk like adults, because adults don't use the word fuck nearly as much as we do.
Indeed.
And apparently it is excessive, but I mean, that's how we talk.
Yeah.
So fuck it.
Well, yeah. When my grandmother was lecturing me in California,
Oh my god, it's
over how many
hilarious.
times I said "fuck"
Oh my god.
in
Oh
the
yeah.
podcast.
It's like, hey, if you can't stomach it, then we don't fucking care.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna say.
Yep.
Oh, you know what I do have to say today?
Mhm.
Is we are taping on March 25th,
Sure.
and I want to wish John and Jacqueline a happy anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary, guys!
It's their anniversary. It's their 2-year anniversary today.
Nice.
2-year anniversary today, and then it's almost our 2-year anniversary for the podcast.
Wow.
Imagine that.
I know.
So
it's great. Good stuff.
I did want to do that.
Yes.
There was something I should have put in the notes. That probably would have been like something I could have brought up earlier when I was struggling for content.
Right.
I could have brought that up. And also, in like 3 days, it's my father's birthday.
Oh, nice.
So well, maybe we'll make a big deal out of it with episode 100, because we'll probably have a broader audience. But
yeah,
I'll say it now, like, happy birthday, Dad.
I'll remind you next week.
Fair enough.
To say it again.
Fair enough.
So, all right, let's close this up.
Yeah, let's do it, because I can't. I'm actually
you need to get
not going to be able to talk anymore.
All right, so to all of our loyal listeners, like I said at the toast at the beginning, you guys are the ones that really drive us. Even though we appreciate every listener that we get, you guys that are constantly engaged, all of you guys in the chat, all of you guys that are constantly hitting us up in the private Facebook group and everywhere else, this is for you guys. Throw ideas for future episode topics and all that stuff at us, preferably in the Facebook group, because that's probably where it will stay for a while and we'll actually be able to see it. Because we don't, like, once the fucking YouTube recording is done, then we're done with that. I don't go back and read the chat. So
yeah, unless we're really looking for something.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's tough. I'd never look back, darling. It takes away from the now.
Yes. So thanks, guys. We really appreciate you. And until episode 100, Dave, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Okay, now what do I click?
And I'll just wait a second just to make sure. Fuck, where to go? Be waiting longer than a second. Oh, there it is. And stop.